Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Second Time Lucky Mining channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys an update after a week of mining helium. For those of you that are unfamiliar, I will leave a link in the video description to my initial video of the experience, but the shorthand of it is I bought a helium miner from a scalper on the 9th of January, so it's about a week and a half ago. The scalper also sold me a 6 dBi McGill antenna. I then subsequently went to my home and set it up with the standard SenseCap M1 antenna that it come with, and then I started mining helium. It's been a week and a half, and let's talk about my experience so far. So after the initial setup, it took about a day or maybe 2 days to sync the blockchain. After it synced the blockchain, it managed to get 2 witnesses. It started to increase witnesses, which I was happy about, and I started getting rewards, I think after 2 days. So it went from 2 witnesses to 5 witnesses, and I was super happy about that. But then the dreaded relay indicator was set, or the yellow message was on display, unfortunately, on the Helium Explorer. And that's when I started to look into troubleshooting why is it relayed. And that's really where my problem started. I could see the daily reward started becoming less, and I needed to go and fix the problem. Let me show you upstairs how I tackle that relay problem and where I am at the moment. Alright, so here's my normal mining rig, which you guys probably have seen on the channel. So I've got my 5 rigs there, 6800 XTs, 2 of them next to each other. There's a standard 6800, that's a 2070, and there's the A4000. So as you can see here, I've got the helium miner at the back. I'll show you guys there. So it's at the back of my computer, and then I've got this Elgato camera stand, and as you can see, I've duct taped the McGill antenna going right at the top. So previously, if you've watched the first video, I had the SenseCap M1 right in that window with the standard antenna. So this is the makeshift situation that I have now. Unfortunately, I bought too much cable, so if I just move this away, so you can see here, if I lift up the SenseCap M1, I've got a lot of cable, which I don't need, and then the longer the cable is, the more signal that you lose. So I'm looking to get a shorter cable, but also potentially moving this the solution on the roof. So that's idea, and this is sort of what the setup looks like at the moment. But let me show you how I have tackled the relay problem in the computer. Okay, on the computer, so let me show you guys what it looks like. So as you can see here, I am on the Helium Explorer. I've got my details open here on the left hand side. I've taken some of my particulars out so that you guys can't give me hate mail personally, but this is sort of what it looks like. So as you guys can see here, I have a good transmit scale. The blockchain was synced. I actually got rewards. I managed to get like 4 witnesses. So as I mentioned, this bumped up to about 5, and then there were some beacons as well. But I have this dreaded hotspot is relayed error message, and that's really where my problem shooting started. When you click on this hotspot is relayed error message, Helium proposes a solution, and that is opening up port 44158 in your router. And that's what I did. So let me show you sort of where that sits and how you do it. So let me just go into this. So as you can see here, this is now me logging into my router, and you can see it's a 5G router. So spoiler, I used to have a 5G router at home. It's a Nokia 5G router. So in that software, it sits under applications and then port forwarding. So I set up a simple rule for port forwarding. So you just link it with the IP address of your helium miner and then open up port 44158. And you can see here, I only opened up that specific port. So it's advised to only open up that specific port. What I then did is I waited for a day or 2 and still nothing happened. And that's sort of when I reached out to the ISP. So I phoned them up to ask them, listen here, I've opened up a specific port on this 5G network for mining. I didn't obviously tell them that, but I just mentioned that I opened up the port and nothing is happening or it's not working. And that's when they told me that it's not supported. So at this stage, I don't know if it's not supported for these 5G that we have here in Australia or it's for all, but setting up port forwarding is pointless here in Australia using a 5G router, or at least from my ISP. So that's when I subsequently ordered a broadband, or what it's called here is NBN, or National Broadband Network, or it's like a fiber network. So I ordered up a new service, and that got installed yesterday. And then yesterday I did the same thing. So let me just show you that. So here I have got my Asus router with the new service. So as you guys can see here on the Asus router, it's pretty simple and there's way more options, which is great. But where we set up port forwarding on the Asus router, so once you've logged into the router, you go to WAN here on the left hand side, you select enable port forwarding, and then you set up in a similar fashion port forwarding. So you just have to specify either the MAC address or the IP address of your Helium miner, which I then subsequently changed the name, so that's why you're not seeing it there. And then I only open up 44158, so external, internal, and then I hit apply and then save. So it's as simple as that. Once I've done this, that's now when we start checking to see if it's made a difference. So once the port is open, then you can actually go and start checking it. So the best thing that I find for that is using portchecker.co. So let me show you that. So once you go to the website portchecker.co, it will automatically identify your IP address in this little section here. You can specify it if you want, but it should pick up your default IP. You then change the port to 44158 and you hit check, and this will then go and check and see if the port is actually open. And you can see here in my case it is. So that is great. So I at least know from a network perspective there shouldn't be any issues with that specific port. So once I confirmed that the port is opened, I actually waited a day, and true of behold, on the Helium Explorer it still said relay. And that's when I looked to find a little bit more up-to-date information. And that up-to-date information you can find from heliumstatus.io website. So let me show you what that looks like. So in heliumstatus.io, you just specify your hotspot name, so your three words for your hotspot name. Then it should find it, and it should show you something like this. So it provides you a status, which is online, which is great. And then most important here for my case, it said relay no. You get some other information as well, so peer connections, where it's up to the block, and there's some buttons here for you to do some testing. So this is a great place to get a little bit more up-to-date information around your hotspot. And as you can see here in the yellow error message, what it's stating is that, because my IP address has changed, again, I changed service provider, it will take a little bit of time for the Helium network to be updated. So that's sort of what I did to update my relay issue. So as you can see, it's not really that complicated. It only occurred after like 3 or 4 days. So hopefully this video has helped some of you guys with how to overcome that and deal with the delay in messaging. Hopefully I can make another video in about another week's time just to see if this is completely gone, but I'm very confident that it would be.
That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it and maybe consider subscribing. If you didn't, please specify in the comments what you would like me to change. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.